My fellow Liberians, despite our diversity, we are a united people, a great and noble people. Through the strength of our unity and the resilience of our determination, we have begun to rebuild a ravished country and have survived two deadly health crises. Our people have stood together as one united people, ready to face the future. Whether you are a fisherman of Grand Cru and Sino, the hunters of Grand Jide and River G, the farmers of Lofa and Bapolu, the Gola and Vai dancers of Bumi and Cape Mount, the hospitable people of Bassa and River Cess, the warriors of Maryland, the miners and explorers of Nimba, the merchants and traders of Bong, the welcoming people of Magibi, or the melting pot of Montserrado. We are one people, Liberians. We have a great challenge and opportunity ahead of us. In unity, we will rebuild this country as a shining example in Africa, demonstrating the power of a determined and united people. Our economy and our national budget will expand and grow like never before. We will improve the lives of our people and put smiles on the faces of our citizens. I promise you that together we can and will do the job. A new day is on the horizon. The time for babysitting is over. God bless you and God bless Liberia.
Hello. My name is Munel Kishen, aka the General. Shut that phone off. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are you watching me right now. And I said I will try my best to come out by this time. And no matter how many pressing on we start, I don't have that capability to demand or request for a particular amount of viewers before going through. But you just listen to, I call that the United speech by Mr. Cummings. And I have never ever heard a politician in Liberia to speak that way that touched the entire country. And at the end, what I love, he said, the time for babysitting is over. He's not talking about the ruling government. He's talking about us. It is time that we stop babysitting. It is time that we continue or we help people to fish, teach them how to fish, than to give them the fish itself or to give them handout. We must stand together, fight it together. Change is not easy. Change is hard. But before I go further, I want to say something to Claire. I know George Lobo might listen to this show. And I made a comment on the show today. I was not talking to the panelists. They never said Mr. Cummings a criminal. They never insulted him. There was a caller who called, and at the end of his call, he said, Toga McIntosh is criminal and he's supporting and endorsing Mr. Cummings. So I said to the caller, everyone who support Mr. Cummings, they are criminals. But if they support the other side, they're okay. When you come to Cummings, you're a criminal. But apparently it was misread and they thought I told them, but they had to go and read mine. So I told them to read it again. But I would not be that naive or stupid to say something that I never heard from them. So guys, I was not talking to you guys. And I respect everyone on your show. Despite our differences in politics, I don't go that route. I don't attack people easily. But you see this election, and then then George Lobo started. We ANC people, we all said things, and I owe no apology. I said it before. I said Bwaka is corrupt. You see, people think when they talk about corruption, it's about cash. When they say you corrupt, that means they say maybe you stealing money. No, it's not that. Corruption is not about stealing money. Your attitude, your people that surround you, the way you make decisions and whatsoever. We all have flaws. We are not perfect beings. But when it comes to politics, we will speak the truth. And I can give a reason why I said it and I continue to say it. You know, you work in, Mr. Bwaka worked in a government that served Liberia for 12 years. And there were a lot of corrupt attitudes that he was part of because he's part of the government. You can't take one man out and say the organization, you were part and parcel of it. So, but it's politics. We should stop crying. But today's show will be a little different. I don't know if you guys watched this nice video that was put together by and what the boy named himself, the comedian. What's his name? How the hell the man named Jesse? And about Alex Cummings. This is me. He did one for Joel. He did one for George Weah. He did one for Alex Cummings. But Alex Cummings on his op is on YouTube. And Shadrach, what a damn man. Can someone please call his name for me, man? Why the hell his name just slipping off my tongue? And I will show some old clips from CDC where our problems started from, the violence and whatsoever. You know, when CDC came to power, things were fresh. George Weah being a popular guy, they thought they could just do everything. Give me that phone. Give me the phone now. Okay. Okay. Their phone continued to ring. And they felt that they could do anything they wanted to do. Where Samuel 12 talked about benevolent dictator. And then Jefferson Koji threatening Liberians that if there's any protest, there will be counter protest. You see what happened today? They come right back to what they were saying because they planted that seed and it had germinated, it grown. So they believe that they can threaten you, they can scare you. This coming 2023 election will be tough. It will not be easy. People will lose lives. People will get hurt. We should be very careful how to retaliate for certain things. We should be very careful. That is why people like us will stay supporting Mr. Cummings. And that is why we stay asking that do not give President Weah a second term. Do not. Don't make that mistakes. Seditions, if you think that you make no mistakes. Seriously, you voted for George Weah because you believe that President Weah was going to make that change. But he never made the change for you. He made it for himself. Got himself rich and richer and all his boys, people from nowhere. We don't have problem with him at point. But the fact of the matter is that he's president of Liberia. He's not president for CDC or a particular group of people. He there to protect the citizens. He took oath to protect the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia and protect the people against what? Foreign and domestic. But the president telling us we should look for a CC camera. When you get in, I got another video that will show you seditions, meeting, and they all get bed ballon. You know what I mean? Bed ballon cutlass. You have seen bed ballon cutlass. Everybody getting your hand in the hands. In this age, imagine what was going to happen if there were no internet around, no cameras. I can't believe Liberians, you got to stand up, oh. Stand up. Freedom is not free. You know, every day I think about it and people having dreams of strange dreams. God show us things through dreams and other things. The war that took place in Liberia, it was between guns and whatsoever. We started with the Congo people and the military overthrew them. We executed. I say we because I am a Liberian. You cannot just take yourself from there. We executed 13 officials. That was 13 family because of revenge. And the country people came to power. They say the liberators are always the suppressors. They came to power, and then yeah, D. Curtis. Thank you, Curtis. I don't know what the hell, and his name just slipped off. Yeah, I will be showing it. I don't know if other people watch it, so today won't be too much talking. I will just end it up with that, and then the military came to power. We'd say, oh yeah, country woman born soldier, and Congo woman born rogue, and all kinds of things. We forgot. Bam. Doe got ready for us. The same people that were in the street was the victim. And then Doe came to power. And then Charles Taylor came back, and the war, it was guns, guns, guns. But now, do not overlook it. The fight that will take place in Liberia will be between civilians, will be supporters. It will be Liberians, fighting Liberians, using cutlasses, using rocks. We're seeing it today, and we're not speaking. And the government enjoying it because they are the ruling party. The government enjoying it. The police, the military, we are all related. We all related. Your people are out there. Your people out there. If you don't stand up and think that you will just take instruction from your president, look, I'm not giving the phone to you, so don't even relax. I would not give it to you. You're on the phone 24/7. Because it's showing. They're throwing rocks at each other. Everybody trying to defend themselves. Everybody, and now they, when you get the government on your side, you think you can do anything and get away with it. That is why CDC, COP were able to overpower SUP. So they were not afraid to harm someone. SUP were little afraid. But another thing, you still have no right to go there. You understand? Now, so that's the thing here. I'm going to show these videos so we can see for ourselves. We cannot give President Weah a second term. Look, so let's go. There are a lot of endorsements coming out. I want to tell you that supporting Mr. Cummings, friends of Alex Cummings, don't be moved by what the other side are going to say. Mr. Cummings is running for president of Liberia. You are criminal. You in Liberia, but you're criminal. You're Liberian. You cripple. You're Liberian. Whatever. You see this life we live in America. They got criminals. They got people who are criminals who created crimes. They are murderers or whatsoever. It mean that we're condoning it. But people who has that vote, who stay out there, no one came from Central Prison to endorse Mr. Cummings. So when they say criminals and whatsoever, yes, the people at Central Prison, they are Liberians. But no one came from there to support Mr. Cummings. But this president have gave clemency to criminals and people and murderers. They out. And guess what? Once they get out, who they're going to support? They're going to support President Weah. They got people that they're taking out from jail and going to join groups in Liberia for the government. We all know that CDC got group of men that will jump in the street anytime because they already prepared. It will not be the police versus the citizen or army. It will be citizen versus citizen. If we not be careful. If we not be careful, we got to discourage it now Most of you guys who got the big talk show, you need to discourage it now. We need to let them know that we know. It will be citizen for citizen, or we saying it and nobody want to say nothing. It will not be the police fighting civilian. It will be the citizen from CDC attacking the other side. And the government will sit there and pretend like they don't know. They will sit and pretend like they don't know what's going on. Because if they use the police, they say, oh, the government is the next thing they will come out and say, well, these people are, yes, they are sedition, but some other people went there and they got nothing to do with it. They got criminals in the group and blah, blah, blah. Just imagine the president of the Republic of Liberia have denied that there is no group in CDC called CDC COP. No group in the CDC called CDC COP. When he had given them cars, his chairman, they accepted them. They all over the place. Jefferson Koji. So who is Jefferson Koji? Who is Molba Moru? Who is all the other guys? Maggie and whatsoever. So they're using the citizen against citizens. Using your taxpayer money and spending it on other people because our children are broke. They greedy. They think that they went to school. They are the dumbest intellectuals. Some of them got the BS, some of them got a degree from University of Liberia, but they are the dumbest ever. I should be a young man, go to school, educated, and then allow some stupid government official to use me. We need to discourage these people. We all did the same thing. And sometimes, I listened to Costa the other day. He was trying to blame himself. Yes, you take the blame for Poker Roberts and all the other guys. Take the blame. You're trying to blame yourself, but then you say, oh, bro, but no, that because it's the way we make them to understand. That's why sometimes I against what I support the CDC a lot. Not to waste time when I hear about militant. Zege one time finish. Oh, say finish. Why you go spend 20 minutes singing a damn song that will not put food on your table? We are so good at imitating, we're acting like we're in South Africa. ANC do the same thing too. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. ANC does the same thing. They go there, they sing. Oh, say they give the battle cry. Listen, I love the battle cry, but you can't continue doing that damn battle cry all the time. That battle cry not carrying us nowhere. We'll talk about the real issue there. We're criticizing CDC about the singing, but we do the same thing too. You know what I'm saying? Because we all connected. We all came from one party to another party. Some people jump from party to party. They're like a butterfly. I got no problem with that. Sometimes they call it political prostitute, but some people jump from party to party based on their interests. Based on their own interest. Oh, I can get from here. Let me survive. I want to survive. You know what I'm saying? Edwin Snow came from NPP to Independent to UP. Now where you going? CDC. When you look at his reason of leaving, it makes no sense. Only his own agenda. You know what I'm saying? Some of us here we stay in one. We in one party. We stay behind one supporters because Liberians don't know what they want. Liberians don't know what they want. But only way fools don't change. Now, don't let nobody fool you. Toga McIntosh endorsement is powerful. He got a constituent. He got a base. When I say base, he got people who support him. He's from Grand Bassa County. Toga McIntosh is not no small man in Liberian politics. You can call him criminals. You can call him he sold passport. He did that and that and that. When they come to Mr. Cummings, these people are lightweight. But when you go to them, that's it. If you get Bernard Ure to support you, and then you call Mr. McIntosh a criminal, or McIntosh still got a damn good name out of the country and the international community. You know what I'm saying? And then Miata Famule, oh, your money is not all to it. As if Mr. Cummings McIntosh looked at somebody that Mr. Cummings only gave money to because of one vote. Eh? But there are people who got eyes to see and they got ears to hear. The writing is clear on the wall. But still, some people are looking at it with a blind eyes. Alex Cummings will be the next president of Liberia. It is clear the Liberian people will vote. For the last 5 years, or for the last 12 years when we started to get into our democratic process, after serving 12 years and then George Weah coming in, no politician in that time to now that even has the first vision of better and clear agenda, apart from Talbot, because I was just listening to some of Talbot's speeches and some of the things that he was saying that today we're going to be better. Yes, Talbot was there at the wrong time. He was there at the wrong time. When I say wrong time, his own people got rid of him. It was not just because of the countrymen. But Liberians, you need to know your history and you need to know what you're looking for. There are people who have already made up their mind. Like George Lobo telling me that he saw his friend Daru. Daru said, oh, I never met Mr. Cummings. Daru is a smart man, a business guy. And trust me, the day Daru sat with Mr. Cummings, imagine he have not sat with Mr. Cummings yet. And he knows that Mr. Cummings is a good guy. The day he sat with Mr. Cummings and they have that lecture, he will understand who Alex Cummings is. But George Lobo sat with Cummings and they talked. But when he was sitting with Cummings, what he did, he never went with an open mind. His mind was already made up, no matter what happened. That is why he was not brave enough to say that I will support Cummings if McKennedy don't make it. George Lobo refused to answer that question. But we answered that question that we will support Bouaka if Mr. Cummings is not in the race. Everybody has the right to support who they want to support. Today, he said, we the ANC people, especially me, call Mr. Bouaka corrupt. Yes. During the trial, that trial was the one they were depending on to damage and destroy Mr. Cummings. But you see the wonderful God, when God ready for you to make you that leader, he will give you got to go through some tests. And Alex Cummings went through the test. Backup Matthew then went to jail. Backup Matthew then went to jail because of all kinds of things. But it was better for Cummings to go to jail than to go through the problem he went through. Backup Matthew was only dealing with one government that put them in jail. But Mr. Cummings dealt with people while he was not in jail. He was receiving insult, swine, criminal, he this, he that, he finger, he gay, he this and that, blah, blah. He was like, you go to bed, you get up, you hear the same thing. Backup Matthew then went to jail straight. Either they were going to kill them, and that's it. No citizen was causing Backup Matthew. Nobody was saying. So you see the difference? It was a political torture or political prisoner. The government is prosecuting you. Your body's opposition brought you in. They sold you to the Judases, sold Mr. Cummings. They say if the horse don't sell you, the street will not buy you. But Mr. Cummings went through that trials for over 9 months. We're on the internet, on radio, fighting. And these guys were having good time. Then today, they want to cry that we attacked them. I want to make it clear. This election, whoever in the race, you watch the Biggest Loser or sometimes Survivor, whoever in this race, we will campaign against them. Whether you will support me at the end of the day or I will support you, I will campaign against you. I will campaign against Mr. Bwaka. If Mr. Bwaka, if there will be a second round and Mr. Bwaka is going against George Weah, I will take Mr. Bwaka over Weah. I told you before, politics is not religion. Before, I said we can't put UP there because of what? So if there will be second round, there will be negotiation. At the same time, I expect UP to support us if we will be the second or the first in the second round, if there will be second round. But I want to make it clear here today, I am still not convinced at all there will be a second round. We are going for the first. If there will be a second round, we will be in the first place. It sounds funny to you, especially if you're not a supporter of Mr. Cummings. I'm dreaming if you're not a supporter of Mr. Cummings. I am dreaming if you are not. And then, let us be careful. Sometimes people say we cause. I have not caused no body. What I said about George Weah, that he was not going to be a good president, I stood by my word. I stand by it. And it came to pass. He's not a good president. Hey, this is my old phone. I stand by it, and he's not a good president. And he will not be a good president. He will not change. There is nothing good going to come from out of it because it's done. It's over with capuche. But how will it look to come back and support Mr. Weah after I have criticized Mr. Weah that he's not a good guy, he's not a good leader? And I never said Mr. Bwaka is not a good leader. But what I'm saying that Mr. Cummings would be a better leader than Bwaka based on his energy. And I know how Liberians use opportunities, especially if Mr. Bwaka is president. His surrounding will kill us. If Mr. Bwaka was young and strong, not even young, but strong like Alex Cummings, moving around, thinking faster, very fast, I know all the corrupt people will not control him. But with the decision that Mr. Bwaka has been making recently, listening to people who he think will help him at the time being and putting other people on the bus, Mr. Bwaka cannot be a very effective leader. Yes, he can. To allow Benaire to use you like that, no. So it's clear. Let me show the post. Their post came from Obe long time ago. Long time in 2017, October 8th. Told Liberian folks, Joseph Newman, aka Joseph Bwaka, is a Sierra Leonean. There is no history of his naturalization. He has no parentage in Lofa or any part of Liberia. He now built $20 million estate in Freetown, Sierra Leone. In Freetown, not in Liberia. Read it yourself. It was in this paper. This paper carried it. It was a propaganda newspaper. You know, these things, they're not something I really dwell up to. But this guy, he's a big supporter now of Mr. Bwaka. He cursed Mr. Cummings. He called Mr. Cummings gay. He tried to come to ANC. He could not stand it because the ANC people put it in his face that you were the one who started the whole gay thing. But because he couldn't repent, in fact, he repented anyway. He repented. He had his whole podcast and confessed. But yet he went back. And now he's supporting Boaka and cursing Mr. Cummings because what he wanted, he could not get it. You see? So we got to be very careful. Like Henry Costa saying things, when you say this and say, oh, that politics. Yes, that politics. That politics, but the way you will say it, that's the one people say, wow, they think it came from the heart too. Because they speak out of emotion. I'm not cursing Mr. Boaka. I say Mr. Boaka will not be a good leader. And two, go looking for Mr. Boaka's house. That not have money fix it. That government money. Why Mr. Boaka couldn't go in another house that government property? And he stay in his own house. Ellen Johnson stay in her own. It's corrupt. Corruption. George, we are doing the same thing. And the vice president doing the same thing. You see? So, guys, and let me say this again. More names to come. More people will switch over to Mr. Cummings. We will give them things to talk about. We will be in the news every day. Whatever they say, don't argue with them. That's their business. Whoever endorsed Mr. Cummings, they can call them criminals. They can call them their names. That their business. That their business. Even if Ellen Johnson endorsed Mr. Cummings, we will accept it with pride. Any past officials endorse Mr. Cummings, we will accept the endorsement. You understand? The biggest thing is that we got the best candidate. We got the most honest candidate in Liberian history. Very honest. You never hear him criticizing George Weah like that. You never hear him going against George Weah because of something that make no sense. You understand? Okay. So let me tell you where our problem started from. I want you to listen to this guy called Samuel Tuer. Samuel Tuer said we should make President Weah a benevolent dictator. And it was their plan. It was their plan. If they were going to win majority in the 2020 elections, they wanted to vote. So George Weah would be a dictator.
I'm Alexander Cummings, and this noble people, through the strength of our unity and the resilience of our determination, we have begun to rebuild a ravished country and have survived to.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry, and my internet went off. My son mistakenly hit the box, and the whole thing shut off. Okay, can you guys hear me, please? Okay. Can you guys hear me? All right, good. I know you can hear me now. So, like as I was saying, and this government, when they came to power, they were so popular. They had everything to their advantage. George Weah had the opportunity to do whatever he wants to do if he was going to do the right thing. You see, in Rwanda today, they said that Paul Kagame, a dictator, he was a dictator. He killed this. He went after opposition because he did his work, and the people loved him. They loved him so much that he could do anything, nothing come from out of him, because he was doing things. If George Weah were going to do the right thing, opposition were going to be in trouble today. But you can't be corrupt. You cannot be stealing money and think you will do the right thing. No. So now this what happened. Samuel 12 went to Oradi because their plan was the next election, which was 2020, if CDC was going to win majority, the plan was to put it on the floor and vote upon it that George Weah should be a benevolent dictator. That means if George Weah want to build roads, he don't even need to talk to nobody. If George Weah want to spend 5 cents for Liberia, he need to talk to nobody. You see how they make it look fun? But because the people they were talking to, they don't know. In Liberia already, in Africa, African man or president, he got too much power. There you go say, they will take, at the end of the day, they will remove the benevolent and they keep the dictator. So that means George Weah could have done anything. That is what Samuel 12 were preaching. And Liberians were clapping for a sedition, were clapping. But God could have it. They lost the election. And, they lost the election. We whipped them. God told the Liberian people that don't fall for that nonsense that they're talking about. Don't fall for it. Yeah, don't fall for it. So I will play you tip of, and I'm not the one who put this tape together. I just saw it. Somebody did it. And the person who did it, congratulations for putting that tape together. And I will also play you tape from Jefferson Koji that they will attack any protester. He said it long time. When they make this statement, they forgot that social media recorded them, and they are on records for such a statement. And I said something again. What's going to happen in Liberia? Let me tell you. CDC plan. CDC plan is that the coming election. Listen to you guys get the big talk show. The Spoon Network, the Reload, the Herod Costa, the Lobo, the Who, the guys, all of y'all. We need to speak out now, because the election will be a fighting. it will be civilian, it will be citizen versus citizen. Citizen from the ruling party will be citizen for the ruling party versus citizen of opposition. And then the government will be in the back and pretending as if they don't know, and the other people will say yes, but the people too, the disenchanted say that they cheated them too. That the whole plan. These guys are very good in negative stuff. And they believe that some Liberians don't want to get into problems, so they will kill in, they will go and hide. They will not come out to vote because they don't want to be caught up in anything. Listen, freedom is not free. Maybe 2023 will be your real Independence Day, will be your Freedom Day. Don't overlook it. CDC is sending you guys a message. Liberians, we're not saying that go there and start attacking, but prepare for it. Prepare, they say, in terms of peace, prepare for war. In terms of war, prepare for peace. Please. Joshua, they will not put the police in the street. They got people who have been trained. They're not in Monrovia for you to see them. Let me tell you. They're not training in Monrovia. They're not training in Monrovia. So what Yeke Koluba said, I stand with Yeke Koluba to train more people too that will be willing. So they will intimidate you. And I will show you, it just start playing back. There's an old tip from CDC. Imagine these guys then went for a press conference, and every one of them had bare ballon cutlass in their hand. Bare ballon cutlass in their hand. That means they prepare to challenge anybody, anytime. But we shouldn't overlook it. We shouldn't overlook it. That is the last war. That's the last war right there. I'm telling you. That is the last war. Don't overlook it. So let us listen to Mr. Twe. These are the people that started problem. These are the people who put Weah because they believe that Weah cannot think for himself. That make President Weah to believe that he is the best president so far when your term is not yet over.
Look, a benevolent dictator, meaning somebody like who alone can sit in the room and make a decision can change the country faster. This is what's happening in a lot of the Asian dictatorships where the benevolent dictator just say, okay, you know what, I don't hear what the other people say in a view. I won't build that road and I'll put the money there. Because so now you say you won't build the road, people say, okay, do the land, everybody start democratizing the decision, then you slow. But we need tough decisions, so let's reorient this whole government. The president will now have that resounding mandate for people to be afraid of him. So this is the mandate that you want to give him this December 8th.
Constantly threatening the states, constantly inciting people. I want to be clear. We will not tolerate those kind of citizens, those that are constantly insulting the president. I want to be clear that after this, there will be no citizen in this country, and I can defy you that will ever insult the president and think he will walk in the street prison.
If no one will do that, the Youth League, under our watch, will protect the democracy of this country. I want to say to you the reason we call so that you cannot be surprised. And don't think because I serve as a mayor, we will be on the front burner. We will lead our people that we led them before. And whatsoever you are, we will also be there and we'll meet in flesh and blood. So as Liberians, and to
we will lead our people as we lead them before. For the last 12 years, they gave Ellen Johnson a piece of cake. They were all in the street cursing. Today, they empower. So they threaten you that they will do this, they will do that. They got two advantages. One, they are from the ruling party. Some of them will hold cutlasses. They will get racks in their hand. Some will hold guns. Some of them, like Jefferson Koji, other people, they get access to gun. They will give guns to some of their civilians, some of their supporters to kill Liberians. They will kill Liberians. I will be in Liberia. I could be one of them. I could be one of the people who be. Listen, sometimes when I say these people say, "Oh my man, don't say these things here." You know the power. The tongue has power. Listen, nobody know where they're going to die. Nobody. But the war that will take place in Liberia, it will not be the police and the civilian, the military and the civilian anymore. It will be between two groups of citizens. One group, the opposition, don't have access to anything. The oppositions are quiet, some of them. They got the silent ones who don't want to be in trouble. The only time they will come out, if they go into that voting booth, they will vote. But they got the other ones who don't care. The other side, they are the government. The government will protect them. The government will pretend that they're arresting them and they free them. What will you do? What will you do? So we need to let the international community know, the West African community know that these are the things that you guys are planning. They're showing it to us. They're testing the water. They're testing it. Let's listen to Jefferson Koji.
Well, you got the capacity to threaten our peace. Thank you very much.
Isoja nomkondo besiswe Bohamudawa mapuni Afrika Isoja nomkondo besiswe Bohamudawa mapuni Afrika Solomoni Iyo Solomon Solimatang Iyo Solomon Solomoni Iyo Solimatang Iyo Solomon Waye Isoja nomkondo basi Bohamudawa mapuni Afrika Waye Isoja nomkondo basi Bohamudawa mapuni Afrika Solomoni Iyo Solimatang Iyo Solomon Solomoni Iyo Solimatang Iyo Solomon Waye Isoja nomkondo basi Bohamudawa Afrika Waye Isoja nomkondo basi Bohamudawa Afrika Solomoni Solomon Solimatang Iyo Solomon Solomoni Solimatang Solimatang Waye Isoja nomkondo basi Bohamudawa Afrika Waye Isoja nomkondo basi Bohamudawa Afrika Solomoni Iyo Solimatang Iyo Solomoni Iyo Solimatang Iyo Waye Isoja nomkondo basi Bohamudawa mapuni isotsha nomkhonto wesizwe owabula wamamkhulu Afrika Solomoni Solimahlangu
You see, we should not overlook these things. If you watch this video, the two groups were throwing stones, and CDC COP overpowered SUP. You know why? Because CDC COP are from the ruling party. However, CDC COP has no right to even go there to start it because they initiated the fight. Yes, they overpower SUP because they are from the ruling party and they were brave enough to hurt anybody and nothing will come from out of it. But SUP, on the other hand, were trying to act brave, but their fear is that if they hurt anyone, they were going to arrest them. And some people say they should arrest both parties. No. CDC COP were all over the place looking for SUP. We saw the video. You think they need to call on the government to arrest the people in that video? No. You don't need to. Let's go back to Jefferson Koji.
Say to you officially, make no mistake that because we bear certain title or we occupy certain space in government and you think that position has taken away from us our true identity. To officially announce to the world and the international community that what we fought for, we will not sit here as spectators and watch it come on an attack. But those friends who believe that nothing good can ever happen on our watch, we want to say moving forward, when there is any call demonstration, as lawmakers can lead, we want to say in my official capacity, whether you call me mayor or you call me youth chairperson, we want to assure the public and international community we will be protective of our democracy. We will be on the scene also.
You can see, the people put by the Slave Party has turned chaotic by the CC Council of Patriot. So now you cannot see the CC Council. Now you cannot see the Slave Party no more. You cannot see the Slave Party no more. They are run down. So now we can only say to you that
we will lead such forces also.
You see the group development but we in charge. See this like 2 years,
Yeah, we are in charge. CDC that 12 year Joe, we are president, you like it or not. That's the intimidation. There are other Liberians who will say, the Oma will say, Kaisa, live on the street. We want no trouble. Me, I'm not going outside to go vote. Me, I want nobody to hide me. We've been cowards for so long. Some of you people say because we're in America, so we're free to talk. We talk nonsense. We're in a war. We saw it. People refused, were afraid to go look for food, and they die in the houses because they were afraid. Some of us took the risks to go and look for food. Some of us took the risks and left the area we were living to go to another place. It was a life and death, but we took that risk. I remember July 27, July 29. When Charles Taylor entered Bannersville, I slept in the house. I was not in the estate. I was afraid to leave, but something came upon me that I said, no, I think I have to go. And I took that road. And guess what? The next day, the rebels entered our house and they killed 2 of our neighbors. And the rebels were living in our house. And after the war started, after the war, we went back to that house. The things that we met in our house, you won't believe it. We went in the attic. I went in the attic. Pots. When I say pots, we're talking about utensils, new fry pan, pot, sewing machines. I say cloths. That's where I learned how to sew from. It was in there. The person looted to transport the stuff, and then maybe ECOMOG took over. They had all the things stuck in there. Food. Yeah. But cowards die many times before their death. Freedom is not free, oh my people. We ain't free yet. The thing that we just see here, that just a small one. CDC been training people for this day. So that's what Yeke Koluba talking about. I support him 100%. You must defend yourself. Defend yourself. Don't go their way. Don't be afraid to vote. Because if you make President Weah, you give him second term, you will suffer. Liberia will suffer because there is nothing left in there that they can change the system. The international community will laugh at us. They will laugh at us. Only Liberian can change Liberia. They're not the Nigerians, they're not the Americans. The people just watching, they want to see your effort. They're tired. Look at Sierra Leone moving. Look at Ivory Coast moving. Look at all these people that went through the problems. Why us? Why? Why you allowing corrupt politicians to use? Look at the children up there. They are all educated people. They went to school. They're in colleges. Some of them graduated. Look at them. When they open their mouth to speak, you ask yourself, look at them. Talks. They're in the street. Their life stayed to the same place. Is that the life we want to live? We can't cost them because that's a system. They're giving them a few bucks and it's auto it. And by the time they snap the finger, 12 years gone and 12 years added to their ages. Look, let's go back. Look at this guy.
The people manner where we saw you, if I taking school, just after the season. I think your people manner, but definitely I keep prepared for any retaliation. Sure. I keep prepared for any retaliation. So the matter. Your protection for our country,
You see that? They call them the Blue Army. The Blue Army. Watch this video here. Watch this.
Okay, first, welcome to Nanapun TV, Nanapun Communication Network, live from Central Monrovia, where National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, NARIMO, in short, holding a major press statement as it relates to a series of issues of national concern. So share the light and give others the opportunity. I'm your Homo 7, Mohammed Bigre. Stay tuned and keep for the Nanapun TV. We
state of mind? For what reason we should still be in a state of mind? Who you hold responsible? George Weah. SUP would demonstrate, they demonstrate against every government. But SUP stood with CDC for 12 years. So they are disenchanted. So they're going after President Weah and telling him they proceed because of what happened in District 13 and all the other things that have been happening. So they themselves now, they are preparing themselves for an attack. And all the other things that have been happening. You think we're supposed to come to this end? Whether they attack SUP or not, we cannot condone this. Just by holding that ballot cutlass in your hand that you prepare. Imagine you slash another person with that. This is where good leadership comes in. This is where President Weah is supposed to come out and speak with a hard voice. Even Alex Cummings' rebuttal was 10 times stronger than Mr. President. This is not about taking side. It's wrong. This is what's going to happen in 2023. You see the SUP children? They got a cutlasses in their hand. They piss off. Other people preparing. You get them preparing. Other groups of people preparing themselves. Then this other guy. So when we meet, it will not be police versus civilian anymore. Both sides will say, "But y'all cheated us. Oh, y'all cheated us. Oh, y'all did this." Let's look at this. Look at this. They are not seditions. But guess what? Most of them were sedition before. They were part of CDC. So look now, they are all university students. They're supposed to be doing something. That's the same thing they do on ANC campus and on a CDC head office. And they do it also to ANC office too. They do it there. They do it. We are interrelated. Not because I support Mr. Cummings, I can't say it. They do it. They're doing it there too. But the difference here is that some people try to do their own intelligent way, and some people try to do their own way that talks or ghetto. They call it the ghetto thing. But it's wrong. It's wrong. Where Liberia have gone? Go back and read about the beret. That beret that you put on your head, what it means. Go back and know about the ANC from South Africa. What all that are chanting and what all this is about. You don't see it anymore easily in South Africa because the things have changed. But Liberia, everywhere you go, who say this, watch it, they're going to sing. They are not sedition now. Right now they're not, but they were sedition before. But these are all smart kids in the biggest school in Liberia, University of Liberia. They're going to sing too. Can you tell the difference between them and CDC? No, you cannot. Okay, after this one, and then I will air the This Is Me with Cummings, and then we call it a day. But I want to say this again. We should be proud and happy that we got Toga McIntosh on our side. He has caused a big vacuum in the CDC. They are confused right now. They are confused. But let the other side say what they want to say. The other side from the opposition too. Don't mind them. Don't mind them. We all fighting for the same thing, yes. But the more strife, the more glory we get, they're not happy. They're not happy for us. So don't worry about them. They will criticize whosoever come out to support Mr. Cummings or to endorse Mr. Cummings. They will not be happy. So don't worry about them. Let them go ahead. Let us continue to tell them that Alex Cummings is the right man for the job. Alex Cummings is the man with the agenda. Alex Cummings is the passionate president. Is the man who is passionate. I will fight corruption. Because of corruption, there was no school in Liberia. Because of corruption, that is why these young kids in the street continue to sing. And I will tell you, and Alex Cummings continue to say, first day on the job, youth initiative. The youth are the pressure jury of Liberia, and they are the future leader. And the only man who concerned about the youth is Alex Cummings. And let me just change a little bit. There's a guy who called on the Lobo show today. He said, why Mr. Cummings from Maryland, the people processing, Mr. Cummings should go and open a processing farm. He got money. Let me ask you the thing today. Charles Taylor brought war to Liberia and we elected him. He never created jobs. Ellen Johnson was part of the war. We elected her. She never created jobs. George Manawia was a big town soccer star, war best and whatsoever, never created job, never brought one company to Liberia, but we voted for him. Mr. Boaka was vice president for 12 years. He worked all kinds of places. He never one day brought one company to Liberia, never created job. He ran for president. But you guys say that Mr. Cummings should bring companies and open companies. If that is the case, why you people never voted for Bernard Ure? Because Bernard Ure was the largest employer, citizen local employer, then apart from government and Firestone. Why you ain't vote for Bernard Ure? Since you're looking for job creation, since you want for a Liberian to create job before you vote for them. Only stupid Liberian. Sometimes I can get vexed when I see Liberian making such a statement. And let me lose that one vote. But only stupid Liberians can think that way, that you should go and open job. You know how many Liberians got people working? Why you can't go look for them to vote for them? Eh? Dwalu got companies. Dwalu got people working for him. Why you can't call Dwalu on a George Lobo show to vote for him? Eh? Henry Costa created jobs. Henry Costa got people working with you. You hear about 18 or 20 some more person that were working for him. Why you ain't vote for him in District 6? Eh? Is that what you look at before you vote for somebody? Eh? Every citizen has the right to run for president. It is a right. But it is a privilege to serve. What you need to ask the candidate is, what will you do? How will you do it? Show me your agenda. Tell me how you will create jobs. Tell me, look at what education system is messed up. Tell me. Then the man who served in that position before and he want to run, you ask him, say, but what you did for the last 6 years and you want me to vote for you again? A Liberian will find better president. And you don't need to know that man. You need to know about the person. It is better to know about him than to just know him. It will be your own personal business. I know you, but you corrupt. I know you, you're a good friend of mine, but your attitude stinks. Then why should I support you to be president of Liberia or representative? So you will destroy other lives? Can we ask ourselves that question? Ask questions that will move Liberia forward. What will you do when it comes to security? Because Liberia were too damn greedy. Somebody hustle, get their own money, they work hard. Then you say that you bring the money. That is how they've been using us for too long. Then when you make that person president, then that person use you now like a slave. because of what's happening today. Because you broke. You want money, you broke. You broke. You don't get rice, you want rice. You can't pay your children's school fees. So what are you going to tell that man? What are you going to tell him? How will you argue with him? Eh? If Ellis Cummings want to get into rubber business, his business. If Ellis Cummings built 20 houses, open an estate, it's not benefiting you, it's benefiting he and his family. Eh? That is how they use us. If I get money and I want to invest into logging business, maybe that's something I know that logging will make money and I like it too now. Maybe I say, okay, the only time we invest in, I open a financial office and help other people. Maybe I say, okay, I will be in a retail business. That's my business. It got nothing to do with me. And in fact, to show you that Ellis Cummings is transparent and honest, all the other politicians, when they get into office, they open a foundation, they connect it to politics. Mr. Cummings' foundation got nothing to do with ANC. Nothing. ANC member can come and say, oh, Mr. Cummings, you know, I want my son to get scholarship. Go and apply to ANC, to CAF. Go and apply. It got nothing to do with ANC. People, can we change? Yes. But we got to tell our people, because our people back there, their role models are crooks. That is why you see President we are stealing the country money, because he saw President Doe stealing it too. The closer president that George Weah went to, that Doe. George Weah saw President Weah and President Doe with bags of money. Just put here and say that 20,000 for you. So they know the importance. Liberians, we got to change. We got to stand up. The things that are going on right now with this whole fighting. Look, do not overlook it. I'm saying it though. We got to say it. We got to let the international community know these are the plans for Mr. This, that the plans that George Weah put in place. Our problem that George Weah, my people, don't let nobody fool you. Our problem that President Weah is not leading in the right direction. President Weah is not firing nobody because he's part of the clique. He cannot fire the agriculture minister because his name is on the list. Zoga Wilson's name is on the list. Bill Traore's name is on that list. They cannot give account what they did with the money. But the one who wants to take responsibility. That is why today they won't get rid of their own. How you want to get rid of somebody who you say you won't fight corruption and you won't get rid of the man? And you won't get rid of him for what? And you say the man, you say you won't fight corruption. Eh? So let's go back to the children. Our university children. You look at it. Look at it. You know, I say, and I tell you they can duplicate it. Alema we are business, Alema we are business. When you go on outside, I say, Alema Cummings business, The Sintron was singing that song. The Sintron coming, they eat the cow on the side. They go on the side. They eat the cow. They eat the cow. We got to discourage it. We got to discourage it. These are Liberian future. We got to discourage it. We can do things without violence. we can do our violence. Seriously. Yes, CDC doing it. You can protect yourself. They say in times of war, prepare for peace. But at the same time, just to tell them that, listen, I'm prepared just in case. But it would not. It's not supposed to go that way. It's not supposed to go that way. Who said do not want we will treat them like a dog. If you say you not want we will treat you like a dog. If you say you not want alien, we will treat you like a dog. Eh? These were the same people. If Alex Cummings president tomorrow, to my living God, let God be my witness. It's one of the things that maybe Cummings might not like me for, because I would criticize the kind of nonsense that Cummings president, and then I hear ANC member who say we not want Cummings, we will treat you like a dog. I swear to my mind, oh God, forgive me. We're not going to allow it to happen, because I know Mr. Cummings. I know Cummings, the kind of person he is. He's all for peace. He's the only one can unite Liberians. Cummings president, all that nonsense be sinking to ANC. So you better, you to ANC office, that means you working there. That means you working. Who's supposed to be working there full time? Be working there. Not to go all day, you just sit down and call. Since CDC took him to power, when you people are in power, you say that, but since CDC came to power, because nothing to do, the children spend their time to CDC head office singing. They think they can go there and get a daily bread. I don't blame them, because they lied to the children. They lied to them. Don't get vexed with sedition, my people. I beg you. But if you cause your own problem, you will face your weight. They got a lot of good sedition out there. They are angry. They piss off. Go to the voting booth and vote against George Weah to show your strength. Show your strength. Whoever you want to vote for, fine. But make sure that President Weah is not. You cannot give him second term. He's already there, been registered as president of Liberia, the 25th president. He will remain the 25th president. It will remain in there. The history will never change. It is not a must that you give him second term. Don't let them lie to you. They got nothing to offer us again. I never see a government that steals from itself. Please, Liberians, seditionists, you won't cost me, you can cost me in your business. This is not about love. This is not party over a country or individual over country. George Weah is not Liberia. Liberia is not George Weah. George Weah only got one vote. Playing football for Liberia, I mean that you did something for Liberia. You only play because of your talent. The guy up who play for Liberia, George Weah did nothing for Liberia. Nothing. There are a lot of people in Liberia who sacrificed during the war to disarm people, to go to places. Ordinary Liberian sacrifice. But when we sit there, we want to make it look as if that one person. We all sacrifice. We all clean our communities. We did things. We joined groups. We did all kinds of stuff. President Weah tasted the war in Liberia. No. He went in refugee camp to speak to refugees and say, you hold on. No. But y'all lied today that President Weah went in refugee camp and went to refugees. Bunch of liars. And these are few people who've been lying. Okay? We sit there, we look. You think I would not encourage this nonsense? Whether as much as what they did to that ball was wrong, but we need to discourage it, because that is where it's going to fall down to. We're going to, every side is pissed off. Look at Bebaron Cutlass. Imagine what will happen. Okay. Let's finish it.
Viva, viva, Naima, viva, 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 ça va caler, viva, viva, mes doyens, il a acheté dans le téléphone, il a toi, man down, man down, man down, man down, man down. No, we not nobody, oh no, but you know how we are. Oh, if you know nobody, oh no, but you know I'm not well. Oh no, but you know we are. Oh no, if you know believe. Oh no, Mamá querela, mamá querela,
Okay, Henry, I will tell you the truth. Cummings' chances of failing in Liberia as the president is 0.001. According to his background, according to what he's doing and his consistency and what he's saying, he will be a better president than George Weah, and he will accomplish a lot. He's a man that plans before doing something. They get something called a short term and a long term. Mr. Cummings, right in his possession, he has a plan. What to do on the first day as president. What to do with agriculture. Everything will start simultaneously, concomitantly. But in the first 2 years, you will realize to see how agriculture improving. You will see the improvement. It's not going to be easy. He's prepared to make the tough choices. So if you listen to Mr. Cummings, he's one of the consistent candidates. What he said 2017, he stays saying it and stick by it. He stays saying that I will fight corruption. I will not minimize it, but I will fight it and put things in place that will stop corruption. I will fire people if you steal and will prosecute you. He stays saying it. He criticized the Senate for $30,000, and today Darius Dillon and other people refuse to support him because they were all together before. He criticized people. He don't care whether you are part of ANC or not. You understand? So, Mr. Cummings, do not do it for one and leave it. What will benefit Liberia is what? Look at his track record, where he came from. Look at his track record. Nobody going into government to say, I was once former president. Mr. Bwaka was never president. Mr. Cummings was never president. The only person who's president and messing up, and we saw it, that George Weah. So any other person is leadership. It's just leadership. It's just leadership. Ask yourself the question, how did Mr. Cummings manage Coca-Cola finance around the world when he's sitting in one place? That he was able to get everybody travel from one place to another place and go this place and that place. Then you're talking about Liberia, where you can sit and call the superintendent from Maryland. So look at his track record. When you're looking for leaders, you look at a track record. Sometimes this is what you look for in a leader. I will tell anybody, number one thing in leadership is honesty. Nobody can disagree with that. The number one characteristic of a good leader is honesty first. Then integrity and empathy. Empathy, then you will understand the people you serving, because that politics, that corporation you into now. You should understand. Look at the man, although you never sat in a wheelchair, but look at the guy in the wheelchair and imagine you yourself in the wheelchair. You understand? So if you have that integrity, you know you want to mess up your name. You don't want to mess up anything. So Mr. Cummings' chances, Mr. Cummings will be a very good president. We're not saying that Mr. Cummings has the golden touch, but when you hear a leader talking about we, that means it's a teamwork. And Mr. Cummings will bring the best. He will not just appoint you because you were supporting him while you're working you work with Comcast, and because you work with Comcast, then he will take you and throw you to Telecom. No. You should be prepared and qualified for the job. You should be prepared to sacrifice. We'll see that progress note. We'll see that progress work. And you must be able to produce. This is why the man, that's how he. So go back and Yango, I'm sure you know, maybe you just want to hear it from me. But go back and look at the Alex Cummings that we're talking about. How he made it. Go and listen to some of his old tapes when he was not even nothing. He was not in politics. Listen to people interview him when he brought operation and administration together within Coca-Cola. How he did it. He's a leader with patience. And leaders, you must have patience. You must act on your time. You must speak. You cannot make decisions under pressure. But sometimes people say, oh, that's why Joshua don't know. Joshua only worse. He don't talk. He talk when he want to talk nonsense. Other people don't. But you must make a decision. It will not always be right. It will not always favor everybody. But Mr. Cummings' chances of failing in Liberia as president? No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. And corruption will not see the daylight. Some people believe that because Mr. Cummings got enough money for himself, that is why he won't stop you from stealing. Yes. It is time that we put somebody who worked for the money honestly, not to steal and get it. So if that would be the case to stop corruption, then so be it. Then Mr. Cummings is the right man. Because the money that Mr. Cummings got, he worked for it. He worked hard. So Mr. Cummings' chance of failing our brother is hard, oh my brother. Yango. Mr. Cummings will create jobs. He got the opportunity. He got the know-how. He got the contacts. It mean that it will come because of him. But Mr. Cummings will make the government reputable and honest to encourage businesses to come in the country. So guess what? Mr. Cummings will Coca-Cola and negotiate with countries. So he knows exactly what the country is looking for. Mr. Cummings will all around the world negotiating, doing business, selling. And Coca-Cola is very good at that. For sales, they're very good. So that is what Mr. Cummings is doing to himself and the ANC and the CPP. He believed that you must convince the people. That's all. Nobody in his position. The only Joshua there now ain't catching shit. Mr. Bwaka never did it before. Mr. Cummings never did it before. There is no school that you must go to be president. No. But Mr. Cummings will be a very good president. And Liberians will understand it. The man is too patient. You understand? He's patient. He takes his time. And he play by the book. So you talk about freedom of speech, you will see it on Cummings. You talk about press, freedom of the press, you will see it on Alex Cummings. You will see it. God have given us a leader and we should accept it. Yes. It's spiritual. God telling us things, but we know. Okay, so They boys, they sang for I don't know how many minutes.
Can't stop watching. Can't stop doing. Can't stop my game.
Congress, friends, and members of the press, as you are aware, the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia always takes on the issue when there are 20 issues pervading the corridors of our country. And I'm sure there is a regular basis wherein the militants and the individuals and members of the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia speaks to the press of 20 national issues that are confronting the people and the society of our country. As you are aware, the reason we witness issues that violate the human rights laws of our country, we witness the darkest attitude of people who believe that the only way they can survive is by selling their integrity and their livelihood to people who continue to use this country resources to enrich themselves, people that live at the detriment and at the expense of the ordinary mass of our people. Comrades, today, members of the press, this is the regular occurrence and this is the regular happenings of the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, wherein we speak to national issues, we speak to situations that are confronting our people, we speak to things that are turning within the national premises of our country. On the basis today, we want to work on the press. Today, the National Revolutionary Movement will come out with an official statement. And this statement will be a statement that the masses will follow because the masses always follow the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia. Today, the press conference will be done and the press release will be read by the Secretary General of the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, the President of Comrade Adolf Darostua. So, members of the press, fellow citizens, listen and listen very keenly at the National Revolutionary Movement make an official statement on our side and make an official statement on the occurrence, on the national occurrence of our country. On the basis, we would like to call on the Secretary General of the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia to elaborate on the press statement of our institution. That is a fake arrest probe. We are well our strategies and our tactics. National Revolutionary Movement of history. Manda, stop looting Liberia. Way to. Amanda faced the country away to. Amanda gave justice away to. And so kindly. National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia. Central Monrovia Republic of Liberia. Press statement for immediate release. August 3rd, AD 2022. The National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, James
Weah's recent statement as mockery to the victims of the Judah 26 sagas calls on the American government to cancel Mr. Weah's invitation to the African American Summit in Washington, D.C. and vows to go after ringleaders and perpetrators of the Judah 26 human rights violation in the Republic of Liberia. Fellow Liberians in and abroad, members of the international community, distinguished members of the press, we bring you greetings from the Central Revolutionary Council, the Popular People Committee, and the General People Congress of the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia. So, the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, NARIMO, unapologetically condemns the August 1, 2022 pre-recorded statement issued by President Weah relative to the Judah 26 violence saga as a mere bluff, the usual irresponsible legal talks and unremorseful mockery to the victims, most especially the militants of the Vanguard Student Education Party who are currently at the point of death as we speak. NARIMO's judgment and classification of the President's recent statement credibly is predicated on the following. 1. The same President Weah 3 months ago ordered the Foreign Affairs Minister D. Master Kimia to have launched an immediate investigation with 2 weeks ultimatum. Of the passport saga involving Sheikh Bashiru Kanti, criminally held in the United States of America for money laundering, and this report is yet to be seen since said mandate was given by the President to the Foreign Affairs Minister of this country. Number 2, Mr. Weah again issued another mandate relative to the mysterious death of the late Princess Cooper, and since then, Liberians and people around the world are yet to be furnished with clear outcomes of sad situation that occurred in our country. Number 3, the same president was caught, pens down, mandating the police to investigate and publish the findings of the 3 promising Liberian youths that got missing, a situation implicating a Simose funeral wound. Up to current, fellow Liberians and members of the press, we are yet to know what happened to the boys. Number 4, the reports of the late Matthew Innings, the 4 auditors and the 21-year-old student that were killed, the report are yet to be presented to the Liberian people. Number 5, the LACC findings and recommendation to prosecute the Agricultural Minister and criminals from the Liberia Institute of Statistics and Geo-Information Services, LAGIS, that stole the money meant for census, they are yet to be prosecuted by this government. Besides, the pre-recorded statement issued by the President is ill-advised and belated because those government-sponsored talks caused the chaos since the 26th of July 18, 2022, and the government remained unspoken till yesterday. An action considered by the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia as an affront to peace and stability of the Republic of Liberia. Distinguished members of the press, on the 26th of July 18, 2022, the world witnessed Liberia turned a bloody nation under the Weah's administration, where government sponsors ex-combatants tossed against inflicted unprecedented casualties on people, university students who gathered at the U.S. Embassy near Monrovia to petition the American government about the mismanagement of the state and the people's affair by Mr. Weah and his cabal. The National Revolutionary Movement is also pleased to impress you all that Liberia under President Weah is a bleeding state and gangster paradise where peace and democratic practices, which are tools and hallmarks of good governance, are placed on a carpet and ignored by the leadership, while lawlessness, killing of people, citizens, the brutalization of university students and armed citizens, and ruthlessness remain the order of the day in this country. Sadly, it is practical that since the inception of this Weah-led government, the country has experienced mass looting of the state resources, ritualistic and mysterious killings, as well as the disappearance of Liberian citizens, and the consistent violation of the Constitution and other legal instruments designed for the smooth running of the Liberian state. Distinguished members of the press and members of the international community, it is empirically established that America remains the model of good governance, peace, development, human rights protection, taking into key account the anti-torture, brutalization of people, citizens, by state officers and state-sponsored thugs, human rights violation, the corruption and bad governance, the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia therefore calls on the United States of America to revoke or cancel the invitation extended to Mr. Weah for the African American Summit that is expected to be held in December of 2022 in Washington, D.C., USA. Until the compromised judiciary system, the rampant corruption, the looting of the state, unprecedented killing of professional Liberians, rape and human rights violation cases currently in Liberia can be adequately addressed by the Weah-led leadership. Distinguished members of the press and fellow Liberians, Narimo, via the popular endorsement of the People's General Congress, wants to categorically state for the records that we will go after the rank leaders and perpetrators of the July 26 violence that left many peaceful citizens and university students wounded. From all indications, the Weah-led government, since our commencement, has proved to lack the courage to pursue individuals that have committed atrocity and bigger crimes against the Liberian state. Members of the press, they were interested to note that the remaining two branches of the Liberian government, both the judiciary and the legislature, have sold their rights and constitutional power to the executives, headed by the lawless president in George Manneh Weah, as demonstrated via their actions and inactions dated on national training issues in Liberia. We, the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, we are also aware that a few months ago, President Weah made a responsible statement requesting all Liberians to be their own security or by CCTV, because the state he, George Weah, presides over, lacks the ability and capability to provide security for Liberians. Even though it remains an achievement for 90% of the citizens, least to mention getting funds to buy CCTV for their protection. Against this backdrop, the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, we want to publicly inform President Weah and his lawless criminal government that we have wholeheartedly accepted with heavy heart to be our own securities, since state cannot provide our citizen security as accepted by the president, even though the government took oath as provided in the Constitution to protect the Liberian people. In conclusion, we are pleased to inform the president and this movement government that insecure as we are due to the president's pronouncement that we should be our own security, we have procured cutlasses and found the means to get guns legally.
Manda! Manda! Reactionary tendency! Reactionary tendency! We are!
We have procured cutlasses and found the means to get guns to be registered legally for our defense moving forward to the 2023 general elections that are proved from current happenings and indications to be marked with breaking and violence, done and issued on this 3rd day of August 8, 2022, signed Brother Leader Darrell S. Stewart Jr., National Secretary General of the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, approved by Major General Siafa Kane, National Chairman, National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia.
I, distinguished member of the press, we, as we listen to the Secretary General of the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia, the movement has deemed it necessary to protect herself in any situation she is confronted with. All Liberians, we are also encouraging all Liberians to do so. So on the basis, the Secretary General will entertain 3 questions from the press. For your name and the press you are here for, the media institution you represent.
Yes, so I hear you, please. Yeah.
My name is Steven Ramos, and I'm looking for Joy. you are talking about protests, and we saw the recent action that took place with one of your affiliate members. So, I mean, is your protest, your action to protest again on August 24, is that going to provoke a situation, especially where you see with codices? Are you going to come up with codices? That's one. Two, you are calling on the government of the Republic of the United States of America to actually cancel the invitation of President Weah. Don't you think this is also in a negative move with the developmental aspect of your country? Because calling for the United States of America to cancel the invitation of President Weah going to the United States, one way or the other blocks so many opportunities and developmental opportunities in the country. Is this not going to help the developmental agenda of the country as well?
All right, so thank you so much, comrade journalists from Joy FM, and we want to be very conspicuous about this. Let me start with the last question. So you are asking as to whether the call by Narimbo to the American government to revoke or cancel Mr. Weah's invitation, what is now going to hinder the developmental agenda of Liberia. We are saying to you, we were very clear for the records. Unapologetically, we are calling on the American government to cancel Weah's invitation. And our reasons are very simple and genuine. We told you, you cannot leave your house as father when you have your son and your daughter taking knives. Your son and your daughter taking knives, taking cold spoon to kill one another. And you live in a house, you say you're going to somebody's invitation, somebody's graduation party. No, it does not make sense. It renders you a responsible father. So we are saying to the American government through the media that they should cancel Mr. Weah's invitation to the African-American summit that is expected to be held in December in Washington, D.C., simply because since the inception of this government in 2018, Rachel Lester Kelly remains the order of the day in this country. Mysterious deaths, they are yet to be addressed. The killing of professional Liberians because of giving professional reports from credible, integrated institutions created by the federal government. I mean, the cases are practical. You saw Liberia turn a bloody nation just a few weeks ago, the 26th of July, 2022. People just stole the money that should have been used to conduct a national population census. Where is we are going? Which of the development are you talking about, Mr. Journalist? Chapter 5, Article 39 of the 1986 Constitution of the Republic of Liberia says that after every 10 consecutive years, there should be a conduct of national population census in this country. Since 2008, the past immediate government, headed by Madam Sali, conducted national population census. Up to current, the 3rd of August 2022, we are yet to conduct census. This government, few members of the government just stole and the money that should have been used to conduct national population census. We are approaching popular election in 2023. Do you know, Mr. Journalist? Can you tell me the numbers that will go to the polls in 2023? I challenge you, you cannot do it. We cannot do it. Criminal friends everywhere cannot also say same. Even NSC, the Liberian, the National Election Commission depends on ledgers for the numbers in the country. Statistics was, how are we going to election? You carry people around here, the justice system is compromised. You're talking about we are living in this country? What is the development talking about? When the ledgers cannot tell us the infant mortality rate, I challenge you to tell me how many persons have natural loss in Liberia, how many persons have died, how many young people you have. Tell me the percentage. George, we have friends everywhere. All those are stealing the money. They cannot say that. LSCC came out with a report of recent to prosecute and confiscate the properties of those that stole the money, including agriculture minister, the president, and the 3 branches of the Liberian government. They got angry and dissolved the LSCC. Mr. Journalist, where is we are going? We are calling the American government, Mr. Journalist, and members of the press, to cancel Weah's invitation until the situations in country can be addressed. Thanks so kindly. To address the second part of your question, yeah, perhaps something jump over our ears, or yeah, jump over something, whatever way. But we did not announce the popular citizen action, even though Narimo is known for announcing and implementing popular citizen action, like the situation of criminal Samuel Tuwe that stole the road fund, the situation of LEC, you saw what we did in this country. When, from the inception of the dry season, Liberia was in perpetual darkness and government was not working because Liberia was completely dark and LEC could not communicate technical situation that she was confronted with. We gave them ultimatum, they did not reach out to our ultimatum to addressing the problem in the public, and we moved there. We protest, but we did not announce any protest action in the press release. We were calling on the American government to cancel WIA's invitation. We vow, we promise, we guarantee to go after great leaders and perpetrators of July 26 violence or human rights abuse in Liberia, and we are clear about that.
So last person.
Okay, I'm Mohammed B. Gray, and I report for Nanakun TV. Through President Ria's statement, he gave order to the Liberia National Police to arrest, to make arrest and bring the book all those that that perpetrated that illegal act. And then yesterday we saw a release from the police for Liberia National Police that they made arrest of 6 persons. So don't you think there's also an effort of the government or making sure that you guys get justice in this country?
Thank you very much. I don't want to say that it's a zero effort. It is not an effort. It is not an effort. Look, let me tell you. I just said to you that the justice system is compromised. And the 2 remaining branches of the Liberian government, they have sold their constitutional power and authorities to the executives headed by the criminal George Weah, who sponsors gangs to go after peaceful citizens on a daily basis. So I'm saying to you, the arrest, the quote-unquote arrest, the mere deception that they are talking about, arresting gang leaders and those air combatants that inflicted casualty on peaceful university students is a mere bluff. When did the people announce that they arrested those criminals or those thugs? Was it that yesterday? Yesterday, the guys were on Prime FM. They walked from Prime FM and marched to the National Police headquarters, right? As well planned, premeditated, organized by the Jeff County, George Weah, Samuel Tuwe, and the rest of them, the Moluba Molu. They went there and they took Facebook photo on our phone, and they were making mockery. When they posted, 2 minutes after, then they walked to the charge of quarters. And they said, yes, they have been arrested. Mose Kado is waiting. Look, I'm saying to you, if this government were a serious government, if we have a judicial system that was not compromising in the pocket of the president or the executive, if we have a police force, if we have security apparatus that are not working at the will and pleasure of this establishment, when did this situation occur? When did that happen? Say 1 week ago. And the guys were bluffing, playing mockery out of the situation of Liberians, future leaders who should serve as positive, perfect and direct replacement for George Weah and the legs when they are being wounded. So we are saying to you, it's a mere bluff. As we speak now, I just received call through the intelligence arm of Narimo that Ibrahim Barry, the expelled student from the AME University on yesterday. Barry has just got released by the National Police on grounds that he works for the government as an NSA officer. This is the truth we are talking about. Even though he maintained ex-combatant and few of the inmates released from jail of recent, in keeping with President Weah executive clemency order, as provided in the Constitution, he maintained them, they wounded and injected few of the brothers for the Vanguard Student Education Party. But the brother just got released on grounds that he presented NSA ID card. He works for the government. So he has a right to inflict casualty, wounds, and injuries on peaceful Liberian students and harmless citizens of this country. We are saying it's a mere bluff and take it to be a bluff because the government is not doing anything to them. Yeah, okay, FN. Yeah, okay, FN, I hear you, please.
Okay, my name is Carol. In your press statement, I heard you talking about going after those that were involved in the 2026 protest. But we feel to tell us how it's going to be done, whether it be blood for blood or yes. So please tell us how it will be done.
Thank you. So, the journalist from OGFM is concerned, and I guess he has called the curiosity of all of you journalists here as to how the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia having vowed, having guaranteed, having promised to go after ringleaders and perpetrators of the violence on July 26, AD 2022, to go after them. How are we going to do that? What makes us revolutionaries is the fact that we don't disclose our tactics. For those people, you witness a video, KFM, FM, and all FMs in this country. Most of you were there. CDC Council of Opera inside the Sioux militants and peaceful Liberians to brutalize them, kill them. So the scene where they strip them naked, the same thing they did. We are saying to you, we will double times reciprocate similar action. We go after them. The only thing that can save them, if they have a passport to go to God, and not even America, just so you know, or bury themselves now. Even if you do that, we'll still dig the ground. And do seem to tell you that this country is a country of law. Since 1947, Liberia remains a country of law. Only this government has been able to thwart the democratic principles of this country. And we'll go after them the same way. We'll repair the arguments. We'll repair the damage. Oh yes, read the transfer aggression theory. Oh yes, they will pay. And we hear, they will pay.
And so members of the press, we want to take this down to appreciate. We want to take
I hear you. The last question.
Let me just ask the last question. The Joint Civil Society Secretary of Liberia recently made a recommendation that in order to seek fairness into the recent situation, there need to be the involvement of pressure group or civil society that will join the police to the investigation. I mean, I think you as a pressure group in Liberia should be pushing for that. They're calling for, going after those who are involved into the situation. Now I was asking, are you not trying to escalate the situation or cause more chaos than calling for a speedy investigation and fairness into...
All right, thank you very much. There's a last question from the journalist from Joy FM. And so, like you said, there was a statement issued cautioning the government that the investigation of the July 26 bloodless saga, say investigation should comprise of members of civil society institutions, an institution like our institution. But surprisingly, even the council, the Liberia Council of Churches, the National Muslim Council, and the rest of them, I don't know how you can call them, they were not invited. When they flew in for the police as play and design, they were the ones that just placed call to the guys and they walked to the charge of quarters. And most of the car just wrote. So they will tell you that the guys are not serious in this country when it comes to serving justice equitably. They will tell you that the guys are still making mockery out of the situation involving the loss of lives and the unprecedented wounds on university students and peaceful Liberians. So since the guy making mockery out of the situation that occurred, this is why we have come up. There's no need for civil society organizations to go and beg government that want to be part of the investigation so that it can be vote of prejudice, so that it can be vote of bias, so that it can be vote of sentiments. We need to be part of it. It was a caution, it was a recommendation given to national government that have other people involved so that the process of investigating this chaotic saga can be transparent and fair enough But the government has refused to do that. We don't have a problem. We are saying to you, the American government should revoke or cancel with immediate effect George Weah invitation to the African American Summit expected to be held in Washington, D.C. in December of this year. Secondly, you also vow, we stand by this. Don't take this for mockery. Don't take this for joke. You are seeing our actions. We are not mere statement issuers. We are implementers of our words. And we will do that. And you will be one of the messengers to inform people out there about the National Revolutionary Movement of Liberia. We vow to go after them, ringleaders and perpetrators of the July 26th bloody human rights violation in Liberia.
I'm sorry. You listen to all the things they're saying. Their reaction, they're calling for to withdraw the invitation of George Weah coming to America and whatsoever. But we need to pray for Liberia that it will be citizen against citizen. We got to be very careful. So I'm going to end the show by playing this tape about This Is Me by D. Curtis. You can go on YouTube and watch it. But for those of you who are here, let me share it with you. It's all about Alexander Cummings. It's a nice clip.
Me.
This is me. This is me.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm D. Curtis. You're watching This Is Me, yet another episode. And this time around, I'm in the presence of a noble man called Mr. Alexander Cummings, who we're about to find out a lot more about. So sit back, enjoy, relax yourself. Mr. Cummings, thank you for having us.
Thank you. It's great to be with you, D. Curtis. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
So do I. So, who is Mr. Cummings?
Mr. Cummings is a son. He is a husband. He is a father, a grandfather, and one who passionately cares for his family, his friends, his relatives, and his country. And these are all a function of kind of my priorities in life. As I mentioned, I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a son, I'm a brother. And again, I care passionately about our country, and anything I can do to help change the direction of Liberia is something I'm committed to doing.
Great, great. So I would like to start from the aspect of being a son. Walk me through your childhood in Liberia. How did it all start? Your parents, where you grew up, where were you born?
Sure. So I was born in the old government hospital.
Okay.
Used to be at the top of Ashman Street.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer there, but I was born there. We lived on Bushra Island in the Point 4 area.
Okay.
For many years until I was 12 or 13 years old. And there you did all the things young people did. We played football. I went to demonstration school while living in Point 4. And then we moved to Fiama in Sinko. As I said, I was, 12, 14 years old, somewhere in that range.
Right.
And then I went to Sevier for high school. Lots of friends and girlfriends, all the normal things, young Liberian boys did at the time.
Okay.
I went to Cuttington for a year and a half after high school. In high school, I was always active in student politics as well.
Okay.
Class treasurer, sometimes class senator. I was senior class president when I graduated from Sevier. went to Cuttington for a year and a half. I was also involved in politics at Cuttington as well. And then I went to the U.S. for undergraduate school. I studied.
Let's stay right there.
Go back to Liberia?
Yeah, let's go back to Liberia before we go to the U.S. So when you played football, were you a striker, defender, like you the people who used to keep people boom, or what position you played?
I was more sort of midfielder, forward. I wasn't a striker, but to be honest, I wasn't very good. You know, I like to be honest with myself, right? I know my area, right? And I played football with a lot of passion.
Okay.
Right? I mean, I played a game with a lot of passion, but I wasn't very good, to be honest. But I played midfield, and sometimes I would play forward. No, I was never a striker.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's dive deeper into your family. Dad, mom, do you have siblings?
Yeah. So no, thanks for that. So my father, I'm named after my father. I'm his junior. My father is deceased now.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, my father grew up initially in Harper, in Maryland, where the Cummings family is from. And then he came to Monrovia to live with a much older sister. And he was a ward of his older sister. And I went to high school in University of Liberia at the time. And then he got a scholarship and studied at American University of Beirut. Started at the Ministry of Education as a cadet. So he's been in the education field his entire career as a cadet, and he kind of rose up through the ranks. But then he left government in his late 40s, early 50s, and actually went to the priesthood, became an Episcopal priest.
Okay.
Yeah. So we grew up in the Episcopal church. I grew up Episcopalian. I'm now a Methodist. There's a story to that we might get to as well. My mother was a midwife. She was my mother was born in Monrovia, Ayo Taylor Cummings. Taylor was her maiden name. She went to CABA for high school, and then she became a midwife, a practicing nurse, if you will. And she was also a small businesswoman. She used to sell women's clothing and underwear and that kind of stuff. I have 3 sisters. Unfortunately, one is my younger sister is deceased. But I'm the third. I'm the one of four children, and so I'm the third. I had 2 older sisters.
So the only boy?
I was the only boy. Yeah, correct.
So you got to step up.
I had to step up. Sometimes people think I was spoiled because I was the only boy, but actually my mother was actually tough on me, which is good. I give both parents, my father and mother, a lot of credit for who and what I am today. The values they had of hard work, integrity. My mother always said, "Howard, don't kill anybody." Right? She used to push me and us, and of course, a lot of prayers from my parents. But we're very close. I'm close with my sisters. And as I said, unfortunately, we lost our younger sister in 2017. So that's the kind of immediate family. I'm married to Teresa, my wife.
Let's go back to mom, and then we'll go back to your wife. That's how you tell when somebody really in love. I want to talk about a wife real quick, but we'll go back to your wife later on.
Absolutely.
I saw you recently left Liberia to visit your mom. How was your visitation? How's she doing?
She's doing okay. You know, mommy will be 94.
94.
In August this year. And it's just it's an actuarial fact that we don't have too much longer with her. And so I don't like to stay away from her for extended periods of time. And she's in rehabilitation. She's in a rehab place. So we went to see her. And, thank God she's doing okay. I sometimes describe mommy as being tired after living for so long as well. But we thank God she's still with us. And it was good. It was good to see her, spend time with her. And as I say, do credit as often as I can, because it's a matter of the arithmetic. At 94 in August, we're not going to have her for too much longer. I hope it's a very long time, but the statistics say probably not.
So you're the one that disciplined you in at home, or was it dad?
Both. But the discipline is in different way, D. Curtis. My mother used to actually beat her with a rattan, right? And my father would have these firm talks. It was almost as effective. I mean, he'd sit you down and lecture you. And so it was kind of yin and yang. Depending on the the violation, I
Right.
would call it. You know, they would determine who did what.
Right.
Yeah, but they both had a lot of influence on my life. And I think I'm a bit of both of them, I think. My father was very deliberate, very focused, quiet, almost shy.
Right.
And to a large extent, I am. So no, both parents, you know, influenced me in different ways. And so I'm very grateful for. And you know, I tell people, dear Curtis, that it's a true blessing because you don't choose your parents.
That's right. That's
You
right.
don't choose the circumstance you're born into. And so I was blessed to have the parents who worked very hard. When my parents first got married, they were in a one-bedroom place on Camp Johnson Road, actually. And through hard work, you know, they built a house small, the first house they built. You know, back then, you would take what they call LPA, take a loan
Right.
from the government, buy some sand, cement, do one section, then you pay that back.
And then you
Get
do
some
the
more
next.
money, you do the next section. That's how they build their first house.
Wow.
And so on and so forth. So so I learned the discipline of hard work, of focus,
Right.
of being determined. Those things I got from both parents, in different ways.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know most parents, they have a way where when you're misbehaving, they can send you a signal. Sometimes it's a look, sometimes a clear of a throat. What was it in your home?
It was more a look, I would say.
They gave you that evil
Yeah,
eye.
just give you that evil eye, like
Let me see it.
yeah, get in line.
Okay.
Don't misbehave. And then there were clear rules, like when we went to church,
Right.
my mother would say, go to the bathroom before we go to church. But when we went to church, we're not going to get up to go to the bathroom. If the service was 1 hour, 2 hours,
You're there for the whole
we're
team.
there. Yeah, the rules were clear.
Right.
The rules around studying, you know, there was just some basic things that, those were expectations. There was never any question because that I would go to college, to university, right? Yeah, my mother didn't go to university.
Right.
And she was determined that we would all go to university.
So now you wanted to talk about the love of your life.
Yes.
So walk me through the journey. How did you meet her?
Right.
So
we met in the U.S. in Atlanta.
Okay.
I was in graduate school at the time, Atlanta University, and she was a counselor and worked at Spelman College. And actually was a Liberian woman, Howard Collins, who's deceased now, unfortunately. Good friend of my wife at the time and of me. Howard introduced us on the Atlanta University Center campus. And so that's how I met my wife. And in fact, the introduction was interesting because Howard said, come go meet your future wife.
Oh, really? Just like that?
Just like that. So Teresa and I met and we dated, got married.
You're just making the thing sound easy. We met, we did it. So when they say come go meet your future wife, when you got there, you put lecture, how the whole thing happened?
But that was a long time ago now. You
don't
kind of testing my memory. We've been married for 40 years.
40 years.
It was 40 years this past February.
Impressive.
So, but yeah, look, initially kind of sort of shy. We started off slowly, kind of getting to know each other. I like the movies, so I think our first date, I took her to the movies, and Teresa, we still today we like to watch movies together. I also like to go out and eat. I like going out and having dinners and trying different kind of foods and that kind of stuff. So one of our early dates, I also took her out to dinner and that sort of stuff.
You do a real gentleman with
yeah, I did, and we connected, right? And again, some of this is a blessing, right? Because you just never know how relationships turn out.
Right.
You never know how you will grow and how your wife will grow together, and that's so. I always give God credit for the woman I fell in love with, and we decided to get married. I mean, the other thing I would say to you, in my career, I moved around a lot.
Right.
Because of my job, both in the U.S. and internationally. And again, I give Teresa a lot of credit for raising the kids.
Right.
Because when I was away, she was there alone with, we got two children,
kids?
two children, a girl and a boy.
Okay.
Even when we were moving internationally at D. Curtis, I remembered we moved to Nigeria.
Okay.
When I was going to run the Coca-Cola business there. And we landed, and within a few days, I left. I had to go travel, and I left Teresa in a new country, kind of all by herself. And she figured it out, no complaints,
Right.
Any of that stuff. Even in the U.S., when Teresa was pregnant with our son, Boy Kai, we moved from Minneapolis to Pennsylvania, Allentown. And she was pregnant. She was like 9 months pregnant when we moved. Completely new city, no family, no nothing. And so she's been very resilient, very tough, committed,
Right.
Supportive. And so the success, I say we have had, not I.
That's a good way to look at it.
We have had success together.
Yeah.
And she takes as much credit. She certainly takes a lot of credit for who our children are today.
Right.
I think I helped.
Right.
But I'll give to Lisa because I was
traveling all around.
I was traveling a lot.
Yeah.
And it was part of the sacrifice for where we are today.
That's right.
Yeah. My daughter Ayu,
Mhm.
she's an actress, which is a hard profession.
Was she acting here?
No, in the U.S.
Okay.
She also teaches as well. That's how she supports kind of the starving actress
Right.
type stuff. And so now my daughter Aya, and then I have a son, Boy Kai. Boy Kai, he's in business. He lives in Johannesburg. He's married to a South African. Ayu's not married. Boy Kai's married to a South African, so he lives there in South Africa, Johannesburg, with his wife. And he's got 4 kids, 3 girls and 1 boy. So that's how we got our grandkids. And again, as a family unit, we're very, very close.
Right.
And as I mentioned, 2 of my sisters and my mother are still alive, and we're close to them as well. So that's kind of the kids and the grandkids.
Care to share any one of your proudest dad moment?
Well, I think when both of them finished university,
Mhm.
were proud moments for us.
Right.
When my son got married, he has a wonderful wife. Level, I think he got blessed too. That was, yeah, I think so. For his sake, I hope so. Right. So proud of that. My daughter just recently was able to sort of do a deal where she'll play a small part in a movie.
Okay.
Still working out the details of that, but it's something she's very proud of, and therefore I'm very proud of that because she's been very persistent in this effort, and so it looks like it'll work out, and therefore kind of. Very,
is it something big in Hollywood or something?
No, I mean hopefully it will be big.
Okay.
But I think it's a horror movie, black horror movie. And then my son is doing a very good job running. You know, he runs our family businesses, what we call the family office. And Boy Kai, he's doing an outstanding job running the family office. So something we're very proud of. So in fact,
did you have to talk him into it? Was he interested in doing it?
No, he was always interested in business. He never wanted to work like I did for a corporation.
Okay.
He always wanted to do something on his own business and that kind of stuff. And so what he does now with the family office is he identifies companies to invest in, and then he helps to manage them, coach people, and that kind of stuff. And again, he's doing a good job.
I want to bring us back a little. When did you leave Liberia? Was it prior to the war, during the war?
Sure.
And, where was the destination after you left Liberia?
So I left to finish undergraduate school prior to the war.
Prior to the war. Okay.
So I was at Cuttington, and then I had the opportunity to go to Illinois. I went to Northern Illinois University, where I studied finance and economics, finance major, economics minor. And so I finished undergraduate school in 1978. I came back home, and I worked at LBDI, Liberian Bank for Development and Investment. I worked there for 2 years, and then I applied to go to graduate school, and then, the coup took place. But I always planned to come back. I wanted to get some work experience in the U.S. prior to coming back. And in the process of, while working, getting some U.S. experience, then the kind of war broke up. So it didn't make sense to come back to the middle of that conflict.
Makes sense.
And so that's kind of where I started my international business journey. But I used to always come and go, though, and visit, family, friends, when it was safe to come in and out. And always had Liberia on my heart and mind, and helped in ways that I could. Individuals, family, friends, sending money back home. Most Liberians do. So that's not unique. I'm sure you probably have to do that as well, even now. But that's started the international piece.
What do you enjoy doing in Liberia?
Well, indeed, I enjoy these things everywhere, but in Liberia specifically. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, even though it doesn't show, I like food. I like to eat. I'm moderate, so I eat everything, and I try to do everything in moderation, right? But I look forward to a good meal. And I like most Liberian dishes, but palm butter.
Palm butter, your favorite?
One of my favorites, again, maybe because the family from Maryland, maybe maybe there's something in the genes that there. But I like palm butter. I like soup and fufu.
So the palm butter, is it with rice or fufu or
both? I would say both. Mostly with rice, but I eat palm butter and fufu too. But I like soup and fufu. Or soup and dumbo.
So you eating with your hand or you eating with spoon?
To be honest, I eat with my spoon.
You eat with spoon?
I eat with spoon.
You eat fufu with spoon, everything?
I do.
Fork?
I do.
Fork with fufu?
No. No, I do fork with rice.
Okay.
And I do spoon with fufu. Although my wife said I fooled her though. Because when we first started dating, I actually cooked a meal for her. As I mentioned, I was in Atlanta. I remember, I think it was pork chops. Either pork chops or steak. But I breaded it. Crackers, I broke up I broke up the crackers. I seasoned the crackers, and then I put I think it was pork chops in the crackers. And then I kind of put it in the oven and kind of let it bake. And that was my only, I mean, I can scramble eggs, I can do small stuff, but I don't cook. Right, and Teresa said I fooled her. I jobbed her. That she thought I could cook. And
she ate all that food I did?
She enjoyed it, and that's why she married me. I fooled her. I jobbed her. So I enjoy that. I enjoy getting together with friends and having a drink. I enjoy a cigar occasionally. I smoke a cigar, cognac or scotch, with some friends. I like watching movies, so we watch movies here on, do video, Netflix, and that sort of stuff.
So when you go out to drink, what are you drinking?
So I usually start with wine. So I like wine with my meals, and then I might end the evening with a scotch, or sometimes cognac. Depends on the mood. But I enjoy a good drink, and again, every now and then I take a cigar and relax. I like music. I don't play any instrument, but I like variety of music. Depending on my mood, it can be African, it can be R&B, can be a bit of jazz. Even sometimes on Sundays, when we kind of just relax and do nothing, I play a bit of classical music in the background. I don't know any sort of classical artist per se, but I know songs that I like, classical music. It's just kind of in the background. So my taste is eclectic.
Who would you say one of your favorite Liberian artists is?
Detour. I like Born to Win. I like Born to Win. I don't claim that mantra, but I like the idea.
You know how to sing any verse from that song?
No, I know my area.
Oh, okay.
If I try to sing here, your camera would break or something. I like Takunje.
Okay.
I like you lied.
That's about it. Has a very powerful message.
Yeah, very powerful message.
That song can never get old.
Well. You can never get old.
Yeah. Regine
So
upon Regine.
yeah. So, but again, my musical taste is kind of wide variety. There's a little bit of R&B, a little bit of jazz. It depends on the mood.
So when you're in Liberia, if you're not eating home, have you tried some of the Kobo Shy around?
Yeah. So I've done Terracotta. I've done Mary's, which I think is on Cheeseman and like 19th Street or something like that. So I do some of the local, restaurants. Sometimes we order.
So I know it's been a long time, right? You've been married for quite a while. But let's imagine you just met your wife. She's sitting down over there. You come here, approach her for the very first time.
Oh, I forgot all my strokes. My strokes. So in terms of approaching her, what would I say to her?
Yeah.
I would do what I did 40 years ago.
What's that?
Ask her out for a date.
So
let's, Teresa.
Do the role play. As a manager, that's part of some of this role play.
I would say, nice to meet you, Teresa. You are beautiful. You are beautiful.
You just know it's nice to meet you, Teresa. How you got to know me, Teresa?
Let me finish that because the person introduced me. This is Teresa.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Teresa Mack is her name. I said, nice to meet you, Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
You look stunning. Can we go for a drink? Can we have a conversation? And I would start small, along those lines, just to.
What if she takes it? She's not thirsty.
Then let's go eat, or let's go for a walk, whatever, right? But if she's not tested, then I know I've lost it. Then my mojo, not working.
So before the Coca-Cola, what would you say contributed to you being promoted to that? Like, most of the time we know about the achievement or the stuff that you cooked in the background that actually got you to that point. We don't get to know those parts. So what are some of the things?
Sure.
That you...
Yeah. So I tell people in terms of career advice because they help me in, and this is not in no particular order of things, but hard work and discipline. Mm-hmm. Something I still have till today. So I got to Pillsbury. I remember my first few weeks and months, I was so nervous, right? And I didn't think, I don't think I can make it here. I can cut it and that kind of stuff, which I think perhaps was normal. But slowly I kind of gained confidence that I could cope. I could compete with other people and colleagues. But then it was focus. It was discipline. It was knowing what I knew and knowing what I didn't know. So even till today, and started back then, always learning, always being curious, always asking questions. Right? Never assuming I knew it all. And I also said to young people, D. Curtis, is yes, you should be ambitious. Yes, you should look ahead in terms of what you want to do in the future. But if you spend too much time looking too far ahead, you miss immediate opportunities. Or you miss obstacles that you trip over that you would have seen. If you're just looking over there, you're not looking down here, right? And so I always focus on what I had to do today and try to do it well. Try to be the best at it. And then it's also about relationships. It's about people knowing you, you knowing people. I had a mentor early on, a person who took interest in me very early on. And helped me to understand.
Get to share the person's name?
Oh, it was a white American guy. His name was Terry Bowmaster. Terry Bowmaster. And he just took an interest in me and started to mentor me and tell me what to do, what to say, and all that kind of stuff, and help my career. When there were opportunities in the company, they said, look, I think you should apply for this role. It will help your development. So one of my first jobs outside of Minneapolis, I was 2 years at Pillsbury in Minneapolis. There was an opening for a plant controller, plant controller in Pennsylvania. And he said, I think you should apply for this job. He said, one, it will help to improve your accounting skills because it's an accounting job. You will get to manage people, early on in my career.
Right.
So I was, 26, 27?
And how many people were you managing?
I was
at that
managing
time?
about five, 6 people, accounting staff, so professionals. And it was that sort of mentorship guidance. He said, look, I think it'll be good for you. You have a strong finance background. Your accounting is good, but if you're forced to do more accounting, it'll round you out, finance and accounting.
Right.
And you get to manage people early on, motivate them, And so that was helpful for me. And then, I had successive promotions, performing well, and then became Vice President of Finance for Pillsbury International, which was the last job I had before I joined Coca-Cola.
Okay. Speaking of Coca-Cola, we know the height you got, but I want to know what was the first or the entry-level position that you held at Coca-Cola?
So I was hired in the U.S. from Pillsbury, but my first assignment was in Nigeria.
Okay.
I went to Nigeria, and they had it all mapped out. I would go to Nigeria as what they call deputy managing director,
right?
Deputy regional manager, for 6 to 12 months, understand the business, understand the environment. I did that successfully, and then I became managing director or regional manager for Nigeria. And at the time, Nigeria was the second biggest market in Africa,
right,
for Coca-Cola. So it was a big job. So I managed our Nigerian business. I did that for almost 3 years successfully, 3.5 years or so. And then I was promoted to what we call division president. So I took responsibility for about half of Africa,
right,
based out of Nairobi. So I moved from Lagos to Nairobi. I was there about a year or so. Then I got moved to Morocco.
Wow.
Take a different part of the continent. So at that time, I took over Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia. I kept all of West Africa. But I was only there a short while in Casablanca, less than 6 months.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of change in the company. And then I got promoted to group president for Africa, to run all of Africa based out of London initially. So I ran the entire African continent for Coca-Cola. I did that for 7 years. I think it's the job I enjoyed the most in my career. Even though I got promoted again,
right,
and we will talk about that. But I enjoyed it because I was involved in Africa. My passion, Liberia, Africa.
Right.
I had a lot of autonomy,
right,
to make decisions, to grow and drive the business. But it's because I did so well running Africa that I got promoted to executive vice president and chief administrative officer of the entire company globally.
Right.
And sometimes hard to explain to people what that means.
Mm-hmm.
But Coca-Cola is a big company. We're in every country in the world.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. The market value, so on the New York Stock Exchange, the value of Coca-Cola is over $250 billion. It's a big business,
right,
everywhere in the world. And a Liberian, right? It wasn't my father's company, my mother, but I was able to rise to number 2, 3 position globally in the world. I had responsibility, D. Curtis, for strategy for the company worldwide, human resources for the company worldwide, the legal function worldwide, the IT, information technology worldwide, all of the technical functions, so manufacturing, R&D, procurement, quality, all the technical functions reported to me on a global basis. The Coca-Cola Global Foundation, sustainability. So I had a big job managing lots of people around the world, different time zones, different culture, different time zones, billions of dollars to manage. And, we did it well. Again, those attributes, building a good team, recognizing it's not about me. If you build a team, right, you empower them, you hold them accountable,
okay,
right? You clear on the expectations. You clear on the results you want to achieve. You measure people. You encourage them. You support them. You give them credit, recognition. You don't take the credit for yourself. Because at the end of the day, Curtis, people remember the leader.
Right.
Right? So let your people take the credit. Empower them. Get good people. Don't Don't be intimidated by people. I always want to hire people smarter than me.
Right.
Because I don't know it all. And if you hire good people, they do what, as a leader, you will get a credit.
Right.
So
speaking of hiring good people, people smarter than you, what's your vetting process? Like, what do you look for? Especially when you managing this vast number of people from different backgrounds. What were some of the things or the key points that you look for in an individual to have?
So there's a saying, it's not my saying, it's a general saying that the best way to predict future behavior or future performance is past behavior, past performance.
Okay.
This is why when you go to interview, you take a resume, they look at what you've done, right?
Right.
So that's where I start. I look at the person's past experience.
Right.
What have they done? And I try to push them, even when I do references, to actually focus on results, what they actually did.
Right.
What did they achieve, not activity. Sometimes people assume being busy and a lot of activity with results. You can be very busy and achieve nothing, right? So it's trying to really probe the person, looking at the resume, and when you're checking references to for results, what did they actually accomplish? What was their role in doing that? So that's one part of trying to vet, is to really push for the past performance, the past history. The other thing I try to look for in people is people who, what I call are confident in themselves, are secure in themselves. Because people who are insecure, they would not hire good people. Because they will be afraid that, because they're not confident, secure, they'll be afraid if I hire because he will make me look bad, or he will look smarter than me. When you're confident in yourself, when you're secure, it's okay. Because will be better in some areas than you are. You will be better, and that's fine. And the combination, right, is what will make you collectively successful. So I try to assess how secure a person is, how comfortable they are in their own selves. I tell people one of my biggest strengths, because is I know myself. I know what I know. I know what I don't know. And I'm very comfortable with that.
Right.
So because I know what I know what I don't know, I hire people who know what I don't know.
Makes a lot of sense.
I don't hire people just to be more mini Alex or mini me, I call it. I want people who are different, who complement, who bring skills I don't have, who bring attributes I don't have. And so that's what, and in building a team, in hiring these very senior people, we're looking for what they bring individually, how they will fit into the team collectively, so that we can achieve the collective results. And I've had a lot of success hiring good, talented people. I've made some mistakes too, by the way, and you do. When you hire people, you will not get it all right. Anybody tell you everybody hires, well, they're lying to you, right? But more often than not, we get it right.
A place of tolerance or a place of celebration, where would you rather be and why?
I mean, how do you describe a place of tolerance? I understand place of celebration.
Where you're just being tolerated. They're just coping with you.
I would say it depends.
Okay.
D. Curtis. Net, you want to be, it's sort of easier to be in a place where you celebrate it.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of easy, right? But there are times and there are situations where to make the sort of change that is necessary to accomplish some of the results, because achieving results and success is not easy.
Right.
You got to be comfortable being tolerated. You got to be comfortable sometimes not being liked. You got to be comfortable sometimes not people liking your decisions. If you're not comfortable with that situation, you will not achieve anything significant. So yes, it's easy to be celebrated, and many people like that. I'm human. That's easy. I like that too, right? But in my work and life experience, achieving ultimate and sustained success, achieving results, transforming situations and circumstances require a high tolerance for being tolerated, for not being popular, people not liking your decisions, people sometimes in the moment not understanding your decisions.
Right.
I'm also a person that believes that, for example, when people are not performing, you need to sit and have the hard conversation and give them a chance. But you can only give people so many chances.
Right.
After a while, they are better off, and you are better off sometimes separating. But you do it with dignity. You treat them well. You don't disrespect people. You don't make them feel like, whatever, right? But sometimes that tough love is required if you want to achieve great things. And so that's why I say it depends. Celebration versus intolerance.
It sounds like you
comfortable
don't
both.
mind the celebration, but you gotta be okay.
Well, to achieve good results,
Right.
then not that I enjoy it, but it's necessary.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's the driving force or the motivation behind wanting to be the next president of the Republic of Liberia?
Yeah. So the way I try to answer that, and I hope people understand, is as follows. First of all, I go back to the fact I've been blessed. And I say that deliberately. Some people say lucky. I say blessed.
Right.
As I mentioned, parents are hardworking, good values, right from wrong, integrity. I'm blessed to be a Liberian, something I'm very proud of.
Right.
Blessed with half a brain. That's not a choice. It's a blessing. Mm-hmm. And blessed to have had some success in life. And so, deep credits, I look at all of these blessings and I thought, look, I need to use some of this to help Liberia, the country of my birth, the country I love and care for, the people of Liberia. And there are many ways to help, not just the presidency, right? And there are other ways we help. We have a foundation, we do other things to help people, situations. But if you want to impact all 5 million or so Liberians, if you want to impact their lives, the presidency is the job that allows you to do that. And so as I look at our country, because for me it's about transforming the life, the presidency is not the destination, it's a means to an end.
Okay.
The end is how do we change the country?
Okay.
How do we reduce the suffering? How do we help create jobs for our people? How do we help educate our young people, give them training? How do we give them some of the opportunities I have, right? And if you want to impact all of those things, improving healthcare and education and infrastructure, and again, reduce the suffering, give young people jobs, training development, the way to do it is through the presidency. So the presidency is not the destination, it's a means to an end.
Right.
The end is how do we improve the lives of our people? How do we transform our country? That for me is the passion. The job just allows me to do it. That is my aspiration is for changing Liberia, for making our country different. But my aspiration is not the presidency. The presidency is the means to an end. Right. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
The aspiration, the determination, the focus is, because I think we can do better. Liberia deserves better. The credit is we are too rich a country for us to be so poor. Mm-hmm. I travel the length and breadth of this country. I see the resources. I see some of the resources leaving Liberia. I was in Wiswa. Used to be the diamond capital of Liberia. I don't know, maybe you're too young to remember. Mm-hmm. The diamond almost completely gone. I was in Wiswa late last year. It's in Papalu. I was with Senator Natin, our chairman. And there's nothing left in Wiswa.
Everything is
the dam is gone. And there's nothing, no running water, no good schools, hospital, nothing. That cannot be. That should not be. Not with a country, with the resources we have. And by the way, it can be a win-win. We have a win-lose mentality. If I win, that means you lose. Yeah. We can manage resources so that the corporations that invest, they can make money. And then the country can benefit. We can do the rules. Everybody can win. It's all about how we manage the resources. It's all about understanding the value of the resources. is understanding the economics of the various industries. How do the folks make money? What kind of return do they need? And what do we need to develop our country? We can find a win-win for our country. And so, I see all of that, and I think I can build a team of Liberians that working together, we can transform our country. And I used to wear we deliberately.
You said wear what?
We, W-E.
Okay.
Not I, we.
Oh, okay. I got it now. I got it.
Yeah, because if anybody thinks they can do it,
right.
I tell you for free, they're lying to you.
Right.
It would take the collective effort of many us, Liberians in general, but collective leadership to do what's required to transform and change this country. But it can be done. Not overnight, not easily, but it can be done. And that for me is the passion, is how can we work together. I view it as sort of servant leadership. Right? It's to serve the people. I serve at the will and pleasure. I'm not there to play big shot, to lord over people, right? It's how we serve them, how we make Liberians better, how we make the country better, right? That's the passion, that's the goal. And the job is a means to an end. And I hope Liberians understand that it's not, people say, oh, the man Abu, I'm Abu to change the country. I don't apologize for being Abu. I'm ambitious to change the country. I'm not Abu for the job. The job is just, we'll get me to, it's a means to it. As a child, I never thought I would have the success I have today. So, in fact, when I was younger, I changed my mind about what I wanted to be several times.
Right.
At one time, I wanted to be, like most young people, I think. At one time, I think I wanted to be a doctor, and then I'm not sure what happened. I decided no. At one time, I thought I wanted to be an engineer, right? And then I settled on business and finance and accounting, economics. And the level of success I achieved in business, it wasn't something I dreamed I would or thought I would. But I'm blessed that I did. There's nothing else I'm aspiring to per se. If you ask me some things I like to do on my bucket list, I like to travel. Even though I travel a lot, when I was in business, it was business. It was not for pleasure. Okay. Right? And so I would love to have the time before the good luck calls me home to do a lot of travel for business.
What would be the ideal destination?
There will be several. I like the Indian Ocean in Africa, the east coast of Africa, the beaches along the east coast of Africa. Would be places along, whether it's Kenya, all the way down to Mozambique. I've been to the Seychelles once, and Mauritius. I would love to spend more time in that part of the world. I like parts of Asia. I would like to visit and spend more time. Malaysia, Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam would be places that would intrigue me. There's places to visit. I lived in the UK, so I did some travel around Europe. So I wouldn't spend too much time there. And Latin America, we interest me as well to visit. Because I ran Cook Africa, I visited at least 40 or plus African countries, at least. I ended 53 countries in Africa. I've done 40 or 43 of them. So I've covered the continent quite extensively, North, Central, and Southern Africa. But I would say the East Africa coast is quite stunning. And then visiting, doing safaris in South or East Africa, we enjoy those as well, and it'll be good to spend more time, doing that sort of stuff.
I'll allow you to give your closing remarks, to our viewing audience. It could be a quotation, it could be your message, anything.
First of all, D. Curtis, thank you. I actually enjoy the conversation. It is a chance to share with your audience that this is me. This is Alexander Cummings, and so thank you for that. I want to just remind Liberians and any non-Liberians listening to this conversation is that my favorite quotation that I keep repeating here in Liberia is that we can't keep doing the same thing and expect different results.
Right.
That is true in your personal life, and it's true in our national life. And the example I like to use is if you're a student and you go into school, you made C last semester, you want to make a B.
Right.
If you keep your same study habits, you might even make a D because the lesson is getting harder.
Right.
If you want to make a B, or even to maintain where you are at C, you got to do something different. You got to study harder. You can't keep doing the same thing, right?
Right.
The other simple example I like to give for people to understand that concept is if you have a radio, a battery radio, and the battery runs down, but you keep putting the same battery in the radio will not work. Right. You got to put a new battery in the radio. And so whether as a country, as a people, we think about our personal lives or our national lives, I encourage people to do something different. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a Liberian thing, right?
Right.
Even you, D. Curtis, it can be small. It doesn't have to be major.
Right.
But do something different. Do something to get a different outcome. And it will all not work.
Right.
Right? But if you keep doing something different, some will hit, some will work, right? But if you just keep in the same rut, the same routine, and then somehow you expect a miracle.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so that's a message I want to leave the audience with. But again, to thank you for a good conversation. But a lot of my interviews can be more serious, that kind of stuff. And this is a chance to just talk about myself.
Exactly.
Who I am, my wife, family, kids.
Right. And then
people get to know me.
Yeah, and that's the void that we saw, Whenever we see you guys in an interview, you said this. No, none of me say you did this. No, that your policy, none of my policy,
Right.
So we really don't know our leaders like that.
Right.
So the opportunity here is for us to get to know you.
Right.
And we certainly do appreciate the opportunity to hear your story, know how you got to where you are, and stuff like that, a young boy out there can sit and say, if I do these things that he did, I might end up like him.
Right.
So that's the whole motive behind This Is Me.
Right.
Well, Mr. Cummings, thanks again. It's been a pleasure getting to know you, your background, aspiration, and everything that you have to share with us. And I hope you guys have some nuggets, some takeaway, because I certainly do. Thanks for watching This Is Me. I'm D. Curtis. See you on the next episode.
This is me. This is me. Yeah. No one else can tell my story. No one else but me. Oh yeah. This is me. This is me. Yeah. Get to know who I am from me. 'Cause this is me.
Who would you love to see on This Is Me?
There are a lot of young Liberian entrepreneurs, business people that are doing very well. I think the president mentioned one in his State of the Union address, the J-Palm, in his State of the Nation address, J-Palm, Mahmoud Johnson.
Right.
Young, I don't know if you know Mahmoud, but he runs J-Palm. He would be a good guy, good feature. The other, Lavetta Sendolo, she does a lot of small businesses. Brenda Brewer-Moore, who does the schools and learning libraries. Richelieu Dennis, if you've heard the name Richelieu, he and his partner named Antatma Liberians, they own the Shea Moisture Cosmetics, and they sold it to Unilever.
Yeah, I think we tried reaching out to them.
I can help facilitate that if you want, but he would be a good guy to feature because this is a Liberian who went to school here. He went to St. Patrick's, went to school here, and he's done extremely well. And there'll be a few others Liberians in the U.S. who I think would benefit from this exposure, and Liberians and others would benefit from seeing them. So it's important that we provide opportunities for people to aspire.
Right.
To see what's possible.